Welcome to Nerdschatting, movie, TV, comic chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome everybody to the Nerdschatting podcast. My name is Nate, and with me, as ever, are my two very good friends, Ben and JB. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Hello.
You're standing up. Ben's standing up. He's already checked out the podcast.
He doesn't think that I've locked the door.
I'm not editing this out. I'm leaving it in.
No, well,
it's going
I don't know why he just didn't ask.
I know, good
because
as
I
asked.
know,
Yeah.
and I remember things sometimes.
Yeah, I'm also going to, before we even get into it, because I'm sure the listeners love it when we just, beat around the bush, I'm just going to open my bottle of Dr.
That was
Pepper.
proper fizzy.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
good, yeah.
I really don't like Dr. Pepper.
No, me neither.
It tastes like fizzy medicine.
Do you ever
wonderful.
remember tasting root beer?
Oh, I love root beer.
Get it? I went back in my time at McDonald's when I first started. They used to serve that. I mean,
Really?
literally, it was in the drinks thing. You press a button, small, medium, or large root beer.
Root
People
beer,
ask for it.
root beer tastes a little bit like the dentist stuff that you
Yes, it
well,
does.
doesn't it? Yeah,
Feels like
yeah.
it's cleaning your teeth, but it's actually rotting it.
Yeah.
We're moving on. I apologise.
Yeah. So with the Nerds Chatting, we talk about all things nerdy, movies, TV shows, comic books. And today we're going to be talking about the Captain Marvel trailer that dropped earlier this week.
Yes, it did.
But before that, should we do some broken news?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Broken news.
So this is broken news. It's so old, it's not breaking. It's already broken. Just for clarification, I did tell you both this earlier this week, and I'm going to stick to it. I am phoning this episode in because I feel rough and tired. So
You do sound. You're not. You've not got. You're quite nasal.
have I got a sexy voice, or is it? Which is it?
I don't know because
It's neither.
Okay.
absolutely right. That was a little bit shocking. I
Yeah,
don't like your
okay.
non-sexy voice.
My
Don't
geek
do-
voice.
Yeah. No, don't do that again, please.
The trouble is, we're actually probably the nerdiest people I know, so, our voices probably are like that anyway. Doesn't matter. Moving on to the new news.
Yes, let's move on to news. What we got?
New Bond 25 director,
Right. Can you pronounce his name?
Kerry
Fukunaga.
Fukunaga.
That'll do.
Fucking Naga.
That'll do. And they've also then, I think they've also revealed that the release date for Bond 25 is going to be February 2020.
Yep.
Yeah, wise. Give yourself
Yeah,
some
so
time.
they've basically lost a couple of months with Danny Boyle stepping out, and it was going to come out, I think, like November 2019. So they've put themselves back a couple of months. So
What's this
tidy
guy?
up the script, get
Yeah.
a new script in. The new script will probably still be no good, but they'll still make a film out of it.
Two questions for you.
Okay,
What's this guy done before?
True Detective.
True Detective.
He was a helm of that.
What,
the
season
first
one?
one. Yes, and how good was that?
It was
Shut
very
the
good.
front door.
He
No,
also
I-
did
yeah.
the.
You have shut the front door already.
Well, and I locked it.
I like
Yeah.
tying it back round. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you very
He
much.
did that Netflix movie with Stringer Bell from The Wire.
Beast of No Nation.
Yes, that's the.
I've
bad
just
boy.
pulled that
Oh,
out.
really?
Hashtag no Netflix.
What's Stringer Bell from The Wire? Idris Elba, for Christ's sake.
Well done,
What's wrong
Ben.
with you?
Idris Elba is so famous now that I'm surprised you know him as Stringer Bell.
I watched The Wire.
You watched it recently, didn't you?
Yeah, because he did.
no.
Well, hang on. Ben did this like season 1,
yeah, it's
episode
Twitter.
1.
Yeah.
This is the music, right?
Yeah.
Season 2,
You're talking about
episode
my
1.
breakdown on Twitter the other night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you really did have a breakdown.
I did. Yeah.
Anyway, it
Okay.
wasn't interesting. Sorry.
Hang on. For anyone wondering what that is, if you check out our Twitter timeline, David Simon's the guy who did the Wire, and The Wire, they changed who sang the theme tune and how the theme tune sounded throughout all 5 seasons. He's also doing something that I'm going to bring up in Nerdscene, and it's one track which I hated at the start and then loved as the season sort of ended, and then it's changed for season 2. Doesn't matter. Kerry Fukunaga is doing Bond 25. They've got a director.
Second thing I was going to say.
Sure.
Did I read right on Twitter the other day? Because
Probably
Twitter is
not.
the source of all information.
Of course.
That the creators, writers, some creative part of Johnny English is the same creative part as James Bond.
No way.
I think that's true. And I think what I saw was that one of our listeners who we like very much, said, like, it really shouldn't be that you're making a parody version and an actual version because your brain will swap it over.
Is that someone who might be called Dan?
Maybe.
Possibly. Okay.
He's a good lad is what he is. He's a good egg.
I think what he might be talking about there is that they've gone back to their tried and trusted, well, at least for the broccoli and whoever it is.
I love
G.
broccoli.
Wilson. and Barbara Broccoli, who
As
are
I've gotten
like
older,
executive producers of these films.
I'm ignoring him. It's just carrying on. As I've gotten older, I really like broccoli. When I was a kid, I didn't like veg at all, but now I'm like, yeah, broccoli's got Especially if you burn the top of it slightly, so it's got a bitterness to it.
I like broccoli in a stir fry.
Like a boiled or steamed broccoli.
I know,
But
stir
yours-
fry it. Stir fry it. You're not listening.
Yeah,
stir
fry it
You know what?
definitely. Because if you boil it, you
Is that
lose some of the
crunchy, though?
flavour.
Yeah.
You lose all the goodness goes into the.
That's why you steam it.
No, even that. I think you got to fry it.
Broccoli with cheese, like cauliflower cheese.
Yeah, load of salt on it.
Oh, I love so.
yeah.
In Devonshire. So right. Anyway.
Did I tangent there a little bit?
Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. People who wrote the script, who are writing the script. So I think the executive producer or the producers, Barbara Broccoli. Let's not get into broccoli again.
Love broccoli.
Stir fry it, don't boil it or
Yeah.
steam it. And Michael G. Wilson or something. I don't think they liked the way that the script was being developed, or they didn't like who Danny Boyle wanted to get in as a villain.
Yeah, we talked about this
so
before.
they've gone
Yeah.
back to the guys who wrote Casino Royale, and they did a little bit on Quantum of
Solace.
It's terrible.
I don't think it's as bad as everyone remembers.
No.
It's worse.
No, I don't.
Skyfall and Spectre, all of those guys, they did the script for all those movies, or they had something to do with the script for those movies, are coming back to do Craig's Fifth, Bond 25.
So are you just saying that we'll call broccoli that they're not too confident with the way that the franchise was going, and they've just gone, no, we're going to go tried and tested. We know we're going to
I
get
think what
£1 million off of this or something.
is they said
Well,
well,
maybe a
we
bit
wanted
more
to
than
get we wanted to get a bit of a maverick director in and sort of get a new take on Bond for Daniel Craig's last one. Let's see how that goes. Didn't like what they were hearing. Have said, okay, let's get a director who is going to do what we ask him to do, but he's also got a bit of pizzazz, which this guy has got. And then let's get in the guys who do the scripts that we've liked and we've produced some successful films off of, and let's make a Bond film together.
I'm 100% done talking about this.
Yeah.
Fine. But Cary Fukunaga is going to do it, and I'm kind of okay with that.
Cool. Good. Yep.
As long as it's not more style over substance like Skyfall and Spectre were.
Yeah.
So the Russo brothers released a cryptic picture.
Yeah.
Now you can talk about it, James.
Well, so thank you, Ben. I'm looking at it and I'm kind of like, no, nothing's really coming out, and unless I then look on the internet and look what everybody else
So
is.
yeah, basically it's like a set, isn't it? And
Yeah.
like people have made out of shapes on it
But
the
there are
word
letters.
Endgame.
There are letters.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking.
Smattered in this picture. There looks like an E there. There looks like
It looks like an H to me as well.
or an H.
That's an
possibly.
H. That's an H there.
That's an A. That's an A. That's an E.
Do you know
Who
what?
knows?
I think it's a bit like the Illuminati symbol that everyone can see in everything but doesn't actually exist, if you know what I mean. You know, people are always like, oh, the eye, I can
Oh,
see
they
the
all see
eye.
an eye,
Yeah,
whatever
you
it
know.
is.
They can't.
They can't.
Because
It's
I
not there.
genuinely can't.
It's never there.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Are you a member of the Illuminati? You wouldn't tell me if you were, would you?
No.
Okay, good.
You know, we normally have pause for cough. Pause for nose blowing. Apologies, everyone. I'm not taking it out.
I think this is basically the Russo brothers either pulling the best prank in the world because it set the internet on fire with what does it mean? What's the magic eye thing? Magic eye? No, did you mean magic eye? Not
No, I meant the Illuminati eye.
Those pictures in
No.
the 90s that no one could really see properly.
I could see them.
Whatever.
Yeah, just.
But
It's a big nothing, but there's
yeah.
definitely something there.
are they trying to build up what we're going to be talking about later
Yes,
for
viral.
a Captain Marvel,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
are they trying to? Because I can't imagine that won't be linked. Because why would you big up or try to big up the next Avenger film before this fantastic Captain Marvel film? It looks like fantastic Captain Marvel film is coming out.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get onto something there. So I think there's probably going to be some form of time travel-esque element to it.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a link there.
Yeah,
We'll see.
definitely.
I can't tell what it says. It might say Endgame. It might be nothing. It could be something.
I'll let someone who knows loads more about it tell me what it is. Maybe the
is
Russo
it-
brothers. I might just tweet him and ask him.
Yeah, do
In
it.
fact, I'll ring him up now.
Are they? Do they hashtag it with anything?
Hang on. I've just closed it down. I've
No, it
just
just
closed the article, Nathan.
No, it just says look hard.
It says look hard.
Yeah.
Oh, so there is something hidden in there.
There's definitely an A. Or it looks like an A because it's there's a ladder.
It's an A-frame ladder, right?
Yeah.
Someone's putting here on the comments, if you invert the colours on your iPhone, you'll see that it does not help at all.
Very good.
I like that. That's clever.
So move on to the next bit of news.
Sure.
So last week we categorically 100% said Henry Cavill is not leaving Superman
No.
when he plays Geralt in the Witcher TV series. And then about 7 minutes after we recorded, the internet exploded left and right with whether Henry Cavill was leaving Superman or
Well,
not.
I think Henry Cavill was listening to our podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
When I know these guys, I'm just going to tell them they're wrong. And look at them. Now they've got egg on their face.
Yeah, and we do.
Well,
We still don't know, though.
No, we don't.
but it's also the fact that the Hollywood Reporter reported on it.
Which is normally reliable.
Those guys, Variety, they normally hit you with the facts of the case, however they may be. But what happened after this is they say that he's out. Then you had Henry Cavill's agent say there'll be an official announcement later on today. Everyone just chill out. Everything will be explained. Then the official announcement from Warner Brothers was, we really respect Henry Cavill. We haven't made any decisions. We always respect him. End of news brief.
Well, there were two things in the middle of that happened along the way. The sort of second one, which I'll talk about quickly, is Henry Cavill released a picture or a video on Instagram. It was some weird sort of like
that
comedy.
happened after the official press
Oh right,
release.
sorry. So there was some sort of like, it was comedy classical music behind him. It was the
and then didn't he have like an action man?
and he had an action figure of Superman, and he pulled it up close to the camera and then pulled it back down again, and didn't say any words. And it just, I think
really
it was
random.
tagged something like, today was an interesting day or something. But the thing that happened before that,
Right.
when Hollywood Reporter reported that he was leaving, they dropped in a name of someone who might be, who one of us might be interested in taking up the role. And it was Michael B. Jordan. And theoretically, the people talking around it said that his name is always dropped in every conversation in the studios, because he's just so hot right now. So whenever they have a list of possible names, he's always on the top because everyone likes him so much.
Sure.
Having said that, I think Michael B. Jordan would be one of the greatest actors to take on Superman ever. I really, really got behind it when it was starting to be a rumour, but I think it is just nothing.
So you and I walked to the shop across the road from where we work the other day.
Yeah.
Literally the day after this dropped, and we were talking about this. I don't know where you were, James. I think you were over here, actually. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
I think he was there, but we secretly said, let's sneak off now and don't tell James.
I was talking about this with you, and I said, wouldn't it be clever if they sort of showed you a scene from the end of Justice League with all of the Justice League sort of stood there and they're all looking proud and that sort of thing, and then it zoomed out from Earth, and it went from Earth, past Mars, past whatever, Mercury, and it went to the Sun, and then it spun around the Sun, zoomed back in, and that Justice League picture is... and at this point, you know you're on an alternative version of a DC Earth, where superheroes exist, and instead of Henry Cavill as Superman, you've got Michael B. Jordan along all the other guys who are still in there.
See,
and this tells you it's an Elseworld Superman story.
If they did that, right, what I would like is that same thing, but when they come back down to Earth, it's not the same setting. It's the Justice League, like standing on top of Starro, or like destroyed, like wrapped on it. So it's like, so there was an adventure, but it was a different adventure. But the Justice League is there, and it's a different Justice League.
Because we've got Jared Leto Joker, we're having what's his face, Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Yeah.
So they've got this Elseworlds precedent set.
Yeah.
So if they did have Michael B. Jordan Superman, they've already done it. They've already changed the Joker and given us a different one, or they're about to. So
who's the I can't remember the name of the black Superman in the comics, who is also the president of the United States. I can't remember his name.
Barack Obama.
No, it's not. It's gone from me. So I would remember if I was feeling well. But he's like, when he's drawn, he's the embodiment of Superman. And if anyone wants to get all like race on it, it's just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Look at Superman. Look at what he stands for. And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And I was so behind this thing, but I really do think it's nonsense now.
Something else that really upsets me about this, though, something that does upset me about this is yet another example of Warner Brothers not having their shit locked down.
Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah.
They just don't. It's just rumour after rumour after. Is he not? Will he? Won't he? Will they? Won't they? Oh,
But is this again?
out.
Is this news coming out because of all these other big films that are happening, and they feel that they need to get in on this? And if they make a big bold statement and say something ridiculously stupid like "we're looking for a new Superman," everyone will not think about the other films, which I think is rubbish.
There's no smoke about fire. There's something going on, but we'll find out in the fullness of time.
Yeah.
Right now, it's speculation. Yeah, let's move on.
Star Wars release schedule is slowing after Episode 9.
So this is kind of news that, hey, I'm guessing everyone expected to see coming. So Solo which I enjoyed.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, me too.
Really
It wasn't
enjoyed
a
it.
massive hit, and not a lot of other people went to see it. And it didn't. It's like the first Star Wars movie that didn't make a lot of money.
I'll be honest, I think it's because they spent so much money remaking it, they then didn't have the money or didn't want to commit the money to doing PR for it, so it kind of went under the radar.
I also think the fact that in the UK we were having a heat wave and no one wanted to go to the cinema.
Yeah, true.
That's what I'm going to put that money on.
So the official announcement from Disney's CEO Bob Iger is.
Oh, he's coming back later on the news.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He just said you can expect some slowdown, but that doesn't mean we're not going to make films. JJ is busy making episode 9. We have creative entities, including the Game of Thrones creators, David Benioff and DB Weiss, or Wise, or whatever it is, who are developing sagas of their own, which we haven't been specific about, and we're just at the point where we're going to start making decisions about what comes next after JJ's. But I think we're going to be a little bit more careful about volume and timing, and the buck stops here on that. So Bob Iger stepping up and saying, hey, okay, maybe we shouldn't have done Solo 6 months after The Last Jedi, which was a bit controversial. Don't know what I thought was great. And, you know, some decisions were made that maybe didn't, you know, fit the Star Wars mould.
Do you think that maybe, possibly, there's something in the fact that Disney are producing their own streaming service, and maybe that's the way the wind is blowing with money making, and Netflix is a big product, and
100%.
so it's
much
almost
streaming
certainly
going
going to
on right
be animated Star Wars, live action Star Wars, and then the movies are going to be events that happen every 3 years or 2 years.
Yep.
Probably.
It just seems like the way the wind is blowing.
The CEO, Disney?
Yeah.
Well, he knows what he's talking about.
I know what I'm talking about. I'm the CEO of Disney.
I mean, you know, don't make his head any bigger than it
Roberto Igor, as I'm known to my friends. Bob Iger. Next bit of news?
Sure.
Well, do we have an opinion on that?
Yes, it makes sense not to release eight Disney Star Wars films a year. And probably not one every year.
No.
We've talked about this.
It's nice to have a break.
I
It's nice
felt
to.
it.
It's like when you're eating. Sometimes you don't want to eat all of it at once. I just want a little break.
Yeah, I felt it after
last some
episode 8. I felt like I'd seen too much Star Wars recently, and I never thought I'd feel that. But the amount of, not negative feeling, but split feeling about that film that came out after it was released. You know, you've got diehard Star Wars fans who loved it, and you've got diehard Star Wars fans who fucking hated it.
Wow,
Sorry,
F-bomb.
pardon my
F-bomb,
F-bomb.
mate.
But they did. You know, that film has really split opinion. And I got a bit tired of Star Wars after it. And I still enjoyed Solo, and I enjoyed reviewing. Oh no, I didn't review Solo with you guys. I called mine in, didn't I? Because I was out.
It was one of the best reviews I think we had.
It was one of the best podcasts we've
Absolutely,
had.
yeah.
It's up there with the other ones where Ben wasn't there. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah, all of those.
Yeah, all those are the best
Yeah,
ones,
yeah.
So what I'm saying is I'd be happy to wait 2 years for a Star Wars film or what have you. We used to have to wait 3 years, so, you know, 2 years would be fine.
Or 20 years.
Or 20 years.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, cool. Moving on then.
Sure.
Last bit of news. Kevin Feige is going to oversee the X-Men for the MCU. Wow, what a surprise.
In other news, water is wet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Is it when?
And crime is rampant in Gotham.
So Bob Iger, Roberto Igor, to his friends, has said this, and he kind of just said like he doesn't want to tread on toes of the conversations that are happening with Fox at the minute, because obviously there's still some negotiation. But he more or less just said, why wouldn't Feige look after the X-Men so there's just one Marvel?
So the exciting news about this is that eventually what we're going to see is the X-Men folded into the current MCU as we know it, which we always knew was coming, but this is now pretty much verbally, approved that.
I hope,
confirmed that.
I hope, and I've said this all along, I hope at the end of Avengers 4, or somewhere in the middle of Avengers 4, the Infinity Gauntlet is used to bend reality and warp it and reset things, and from that it just gives us this potential to have all these other characters that have always existed but we didn't know about it, or have always existed but were never in that universe.
I think they would be absolutely stupid to not think like that, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they're on it already, because you're just then tying up lots of other massive money making.
Well, it's how they do it in the comics. It's
Yeah.
exactly how they do it in the comics. They go, oh, right, well, these things were always connected. They just were. Shh.
Yeah.
It's just, they have crisis events and big events. I think it's the absolute massive way to go. If they don't go that way, they're dumb.
Do you
Dumb,
know,
I say.
Say it again.
Dumb.
Do you know what's going to happen?
What?
No.
It's the time for the short guy. It's the time for me. Do you know why?
Why?
Because Feige's going to do a comic book accurate Wolverine who's not 6'2" and looks like Hugh Jackman. He's 5'3" and he's Canadian.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And he's quite hairy.
Has he got little legs?
Yes, he will have little legs. It's the time for the short guy.
Oh, well, hey.
It's all been leading to this, and it's finally here.
Are you playing Wolverine in the next Marvel?
I wish I could confirm or deny that, but I'm afraid you'd get hit in the neck with a sleeping dart by someone who I can neither confirm or deny is there.
Can you?
I don't know what I'm talking about right now.
Question though, could you grow your beard like Wolverine?
No.
Why not?
I've been trying for 5 years.
I don't believe you.
Okay, fine.
A delicate little bit of bum fluff on the front of your
that's right,
face.
yeah.
Yeah,
I could lick
He's
it
got the
up.
best beard
He
out
has
of
got
three
the
of
best
us.
beard. It is the longest beard.
Yeah.
Should we move on from broken news?
Yeah, let's do it.
Nerdscene.
Okay, so this is Nerdscene. This is so it's
It's Nerdscene.
It's a concatenation of the word nerd and scene to put together one word, and the second word scene is kind of like a pun. It's a play on the words of scene when you've watched something, and scene, which is a period of time within a creative TV show or play or something. So scene, so nerd scene. Do you get it?
If you didn't have a cold, I might have understood that. Yeah.
Yeah,
In
I
your
know.
normal voice, I think I'd have got it.
Did you use the word concatenation?
Yeah.
What the hell? You've never used that word in your life.
I don't think I can say it.
I don't think I could. I don't think I actually said it properly.
Concatenation?
What's everyone been watching and reading and being part of?
I want to say very quickly, this follows on from the story, the little thing I talked about at the beginning where I had a meltdown on Twitter the other night. I've been watching The Juice, which is a Sky Atlantic show, which I think you would really like, JB.
I would.
And I think Nate would be disgusted by.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
it.
he would spit on it.
It is early 1970s New York around Times Square, which was an absolute den of prostitution and vice and drugs, and it was a rough time to be living in New York.
And why would
at
I
that
like
time.
it?
Because there's an awful lot of great drama in there. And some sex scenes smattered around. There's a lot of sex scenes. There really are. And not just man and woman sex scenes. There's also men on men sex scenes.
Wow.
There's a lot of dicks being pulled out. It's.
I think
He's a filthy male
Yeah.
person
I'm
today.
very sorry.
He's got
There's a lot of penises being pulled out.
And you're going to talk about a penis in a minute as well, aren't you?
No, I wasn't.
You are.
No, I wasn't.
You've got Batman Damned written on here, and
That's
therefore you're going to
skipping
talk
ahead.
about.
But
a
I'm really
penis.
enjoying The Juice.
Right, cool.
It's great. Season 2 just started. I've watched 2 episodes. It's really
How
good.
many episodes in season 1?
8.
Okay. Is that all?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, inhalable over a long weekend. Thank you. Yes, okay, Batman Damned.
It's very brief.
Very brief. I read it through the first time. I enjoyed it, but it's a very dark, weird, I'm not quite sure what's going on take with Batman. It's only a 3-issue book, but it's an oversized comic book and it's very beautiful. The first time I read it, I missed that Batman's penis is in the shadows at some point. Nicola from We Have a Hulk podcast.
What?
There's a point where he takes off his bat suit and he's in the cave and he's not in a good way at all.
Well, he's been beaten up?
No, he's got some psychological things going on. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But he's walking along and, yeah.
Schlong.
Batman circumcised. Did you know that?
I always
I
There
do now.
is no need for it.
I missed it. Nicola from We Have a Hulk pod replied to my tweet on my, because I'm keeping track of all the books I read this year. And she's, oh yeah, bat penis, did you... And I was like, no, I didn't see that. I think I must have an edited version. Went back and looked again. There it is. Great big swinging
Why did they
bat
put that
dick.
in there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
It's
I think that
unnecessary.
it's an adult comic book. It's
So?
from the DC Black Label range,
so-
which is supposed to be a bit more...
Is that like a top shelf
Well, hang on,
comic?
so adults can't assume that the bodily parts are there without seeing them.
Oh, I listen, yeah, I mean...
I would suggest-
don't think
I would
that
suggest
you
it's-
need to put
it's-
it in, but I'm not against it.
I would say it's more immature to have to show that.
I think
It's
what
not
they are
mature.
doing is they are showing that Batman is stripped down here, both physically
Yeah.
and psychologically, because he's experiencing some issues.
Whatever.
I think it's just them saying that he's at a low point.
Done.
Fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Fine.
That penis gone.
And I've started reading Preacher Book 1 because I'm getting pretty close to the end of my my reading list.
It's good, isn't it?
You are smashing through that.
I am
That is a
smashing through
great
it.
show.
It is very good, actually.
Preacher's
Very
great.
Good. Yeah.
It's timeless, I think. I think the artwork, Matt Dillon's artwork. Is it Matt Dillon? No, Steve Dillon.
Steve
sorry,
Dillon,
gosh.
God,
You're not fine on sourcing.
I know I'm not.
It's all right.
Steve Dillon's artwork is timeless. It's got it's got a real modern edge to it, but at the same time, it's got its figures and its positions of his the way he like air quotes positions his camera is very traditional.
Yeah.
It's
very
great.
good.
It's fantastic.
He
He passed away, didn't he, a few years ago? Like
Yes.
quite early or quite young.
Yes, he did. Yeah, very sadly.
Yeah, very sad.
There are like 5 more books in this run from the one that I've bought. I've not got the trade paperback. I've got like the.
Oh, I was going to
release
say
trade.
because there's 8 volumes.
Yeah, so I think there are like 5 or 6 in this one that I've got.
Right.
So I'll probably get to it at some point. But it's real good. Really enjoying it.
Have you read or seen or watched it?
So a couple of things that I have been doing is I have watched, and Ben told me not to mention this, but I'm going to mention it, about the All or Nothing Man City documentary.
Ben stormed off. He literally stood up and stormed off and
but
sighing.
What's more interesting is I thought this was just a one-off documentary, but in fact Amazon Prime have done many documentaries relating to American football teams, which I think look awesome, and also the All Blacks rugby team.
Oh, cool.
So that I would be interested to see.
Yeah, I think it's really well done. You
But
see,
Man City can suck my troll.
wow, here we go.
Oh,
And I have also, in other news, have been reading music. Well, not music per se.
Yes, yeah.
I am learning the ukulele, which is taking up a lot of my time because
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
You're really good as well.
You're
showed us
brilliant,
the
mate.
video.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Very good. Very good.
Thank
you sent
you.
through a video the other night though,
Yeah.
which I fell in love with you all over again straight away.
Was that my concentration
I think
face?
so
And did you like the T-shirt I was wearing
I
as well?
did like you
Yeah.
were wearing your birthday T-shirt. I think that right here, right now, you should give Ben authorization to post that video on the Nerdschatting channels.
However, do not feel pressured to do that, because if you don't want to do that, I completely understand why.
Do feel pressured to do that. It's like the devil and the angel on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Think about it offline?
Yeah, can I think about this?
Think about it offline.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Ben.
Make a decision right
Yeah,
now.
you're right.
Yeah, I am. Last thing in Nerdscene, I started listening to a new podcast called 20,000 Hertz. It's 20,000 Hertz in words rather than numbers.
Sorry.
Wow.
Hey Ben, you know you dropped an F-bomb earlier?
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. I listened to your Batman damned bullshit, so you can listen to mine.
Sorry.
Yeah. This was there was an episode of Imaginary Worlds podcast earlier this week, and it was co-hosted with a guy called Dallas. I want to say his name is Dallas Taylor, but it's probably Dallas Thomas or something like that. A guy called Dallas. And this Dallas chap hosts another podcast called 20,000 Hertz. So that's kind of a cross-promotion thing. So I thought, I'll give it a go. And 20,000 Hertz is this sort of mini podcast. Each one is about 15 minutes, not quite, about famous or interesting or iconic sounds. Sounds. So, for example...
Like a lightsaber sound.
Maybe. The first episode is all about Siri. And how Siri has reinvented the way that we live and work and think. There was also things about the NBC chimes. I didn't know anything about that, but in America it's a big thing. There was one I listened to on the way to work this morning was about lost sounds. So sounds that we no longer hear anymore.
Like Ben's voice.
But yeah, well, that's one we'd like to lose. But no, like the sound of a needle falling on vinyl, or the sound of horses pulling carts, things like that. It's a really, really interesting podcast, and because it's short, you can hit through quite a few of them.
That is really quite interesting.
It is interesting.
And there is no sarcasm in my voice.
It's really good. 20,000 Hertz. It's
I'm
called.
going to check that out.
I see. You asshole for saying you were falling asleep.
I am
You two are a bit
right-
aggressive today.
A
Okay,
right
okay.
jerk.
You are a jerk, and I think everyone should listen to it. It's really, really well done. It's very professional. It's done by a company that obviously make full broadcast productions, not just podcasts but TV and stuff. So it's very, very slick.
Thinking of a sound of a cassette rewinding.
There was the one I listened to this morning.
Because
was
my kids
about,
will never know that.
Yeah, exactly. It was about a chap who does loads of digital visual arts for Marvel and Disney, and he's got like his own personal project where he has gone back, stopped listening to digital music, and is now on the hunt for all the music he used to listen to, all the music on his iPod, to get on vinyl, which he then copies to cassette tape and listens to his Walkman. He does all this. He does digital captures of buildings for the Marvel films and locations and props, whilst while he's doing that, he's listening to his tape Walkman.
That's listening to Aha, Take On Me. Or
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Amazing.
That's a great song
Yeah.
as well.
It's
Well done,
a
Ben.
really interesting podcast. I recommend everyone just check out a few of them.
What was the crossover he did with Imaginary Worlds?
So that was about radio dramas. So how they've evolved over time. So what was the purpose of them in the past? The purpose of them was to sell adverts for things, the radio, and to ensure that the radio stations kept airplay and everything. They would play a radio drama, and then in the middle of it have an advert to sell, like, you know, flour or butter or whatever, war effort. And then how that changed into horror stories and things throughout the war and all sorts of stuff. It's really interesting.
That sounds good.
Imaginary Worlds, great podcast. I listen to every single one. As soon as I see it come up on my Spotify, I'm like, yes, amazing. And 20,000 Hertz is now one I'm really enjoying. So there you go.
Excellent. Check that out.
Should we talk about the topic for today?
Yes.
Please.
I reckon we're going to give this, I reckon 20 minutes. Give it a good 20 minutes of talk through.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
We can do a 1 minute 56 trailer, 20 minutes. So Captain Marvel trailer.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts when I first saw it, bit muted, bit dialed down.
What do you mean? What, as in the music? Or do you
No,
mean
as
just
in
the whole
just
thing?
like... I felt like there wasn't as much in it as I thought there was going to be. There was a lot of... There's a lot of really great hero-focused stuff on Carol Danvers. I think Brie Larson looks fantastic in the part. I think she's going to knock it out of the park. I think she's going to be great. But I thought there was very little story to latch onto, which is probably good.
Sure.
But also the effects, I thought, were not mind-blowing.
Yes, I mean they're not probably completely finished yet, and I'm sure they'll be tidied up a little bit, and things that were there, you know, like we saw in the Infinity War trailer, like the Hulk's running towards the screen. Well, he wasn't there at all.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there'll be things in there that, you know, need to be completed. But I would agree with you actually, Nate. I think this trailer was fine, but it didn't set my pants on fire.
Oh my!
I thought
JB and I just looked at each other at the exact same time.
but imagine the teaser trailer for Infinity War. Now I know Infinity War was the combination of 10 years worth of movies, but it was chilling. The teaser trailer for Infinity War set the hairs on the back of my neck. You know.
Yeah, but I think that's because an element we knew what was coming. We knew that Thanos was going to be here.
Yeah.
We knew there was going to be a massive battle because there has to be.
Yeah.
But
this trailer didn't give me
it's an
anything
origins
about
trailer.
Yeah, it is an origin
It
story.
didn't give me anything about the story of the movie. But that's probably a good thing, so I don't think I want to know too much about the story.
Exactly. So it's a first world problem. It's like, oh, it didn't tell me the story, but I don't want to know the story. Shh.
Yeah,
you know.
I know. I'm a complete hypocrite.
What trailer did we watch which basically did tell us the story? And
Spider-Man:
we hated...
Homecoming.
Yeah, there was more
it
than that. I think
Ant-Man? No. Which one did we...
it was a
you
recent one.
You haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, have you?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, we
no.
can't talk about
Ant-Man and the Wasp, though, every single funny thing.
It doesn't matter. You can say it. It
action
doesn't matter.
scene
Yeah.
was in the trailer. pretty much.
Right. Okay.
So from my limited comic background of understanding Captain Marvel, I thought it was quite nice. I liked the fact she landed in a blockbuster video.
Yeah,
because
that was great.
You know, people of our age will know what that is. Other people are going to go, "What is
Yeah,
that?"
it's-
So you've got that '90s feel. You've got that the '90s feel, and maybe I've lost my thought.
Well, I think what it is, it's a really clever way of saying, you know,
Brilliant.
15 years ago, or saying 1995 or whatever it is, without actually having that on the
Present
screen.
day.
Yeah, that needing to do that.
Nostalgia. Is that right? Nostalgia? Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
It's a big thing at the moment, nostalgia.
And I like the scenes where she is on Earth and she falls to the ground, and then you see other versions of her at her ages, and then she's trying to piece things together. Then you see her like kind of looks like captured.
She's upside down.
Yeah.
So that links, because there's something going on with her brain there.
Yeah,
There are
and
obviously people controlling her brain or wiping her memory or something.
And I quite like that. I think what Marvel do very well is the making characters look younger.
Yeah, with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I think it doesn't look out of place.
No, it doesn't.
It looks really good. And they've only done it in parts of movies in the past. But in this movie, it's going to be all the way along.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I I think the next trailer will blow my socks off.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You're hoping it does, I think.
I think that the next show
think it
will
will.
be all Skrulls. It'll be loads of story. We'll see a set piece of some sort.
What do we think the story is? Because I think that she was obviously in the Air Force at some point,
Yep.
at a point in time, late 80s, mid 80s, early 90s, something like that.
Yeah.
She's off planet for whatever reason, don't know why. Someone maybe takes her away. Who knows?
In the trailer, isn't there a scene of her flying a spaceship, and then there's a spaceship that uncloaks itself from
Yes.
Earth?
Yes.
So what we know about trailers from Marvel is they put a trailer together, but they make it look like
They
the
put
trailers,
stuff everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
following a normal timeline.
Yeah.
A
But never
timeline,
does.
but it's
No.
absolutely
Never does.
not, which is really
Yeah.
brilliant.
So she's obviously taken from Earth, then she crashes back down to Earth at some point, which is at the start of the trailer in Blockbusters.
I used to work in Blockbusters, by the way.
Oh, cool. I used to go to Blockbusters every week and rent out a video. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Which Blockbusters do you work in Billericay?
In Billericay, yeah. 61886-17305.
Is that the store code?
That's the store code and my account number.
Nice.
Dude, you shouldn't tell people that. They might be able to exploit you.
It is closed for good.
I bet there's one somewhere.
Maybe, yeah.
So she's obviously going to crash back down to Earth, and that's when Samuel L. Jackson is going to sort of become involved and
Yeah.
help her realise who she is. There does seem to be a bit in the film where she's Thor Ragnarok, where Thor leveled up, Captain Marvel levelling up, possibly.
And it's going to be
Maybe
visual,
unlocking her full potential
gonna
as
be
Captain Marvel.
displayed by her costume changing colour.
Yeah.
Most probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's going to break free.
And she punches no woman in the face,
Now that
who's
is-
more than likely a Skrull.
Oh, 100%.
I'll guarantee it.
100%.
Or
yeah.
if she makes a big mistake, she's not going to be liked by the public. Not like Spider-Man. Can you imagine Subway knocking out an old lady? It's not going to happen, is it?
Is it the subway? Is it a bus?
I thought.
What's
it was
important,
the Subway.
James, is that it doesn't matter.
I'm going to back myself, and it's the Subway.
Oh, well, we'll
How
make
much-
a gentleman's bet right now.
Well, how much you want to bet on it?
I'm going through the trailer now and I'll be
A
able to tell
bag
you,
of
so.
popcorn.
No. Yes. Okay. Then bag of popcorn.
Okay, fine. It's a bus.
It's a Subway.
Okay.
It's a train.
It's
a train.
definitely a subway.
There-
I've seen it in the trailer. It's a subway.
Yes.
Damn it! I owe you a bag of popcorn.
Yeah,
already.
large baby.
there are a lot of scenes that raise questions, but also questions I'm not that bothered about. Does that make sense?
Pray tell.
Explain.
Like, oh, she was in the Air Force, she fell down, she was a kid, then she got captured. I kind of feel like that will just be told to me in the film.
Yes,
there's nothing.
But I think that's what Ben said. I think that's
Yeah.
what you're both getting at. Nothing really there. There's nothing really to bite into apart from possibly level up.
I was already
and
looking forward to seeing this film.
Yeah, but people don't know. So the normal people like myself won't
yeah.
know. They'll just see her hitting what looks like an old lady. The trailer doesn't really tell any backstory about the Skrulls and how they can shapeshift and things like that. Spoilers.
So that's an
Look at
interesting
me.
part.
I really feel like I know what I'm talking about.
And also, there's a couple of shots when she's like in space or on what I assume is the Kree homeworld, where she's got the other guys behind her who are wearing the same uniform, so the sort of blue-skinned folks, which we'd already seen images
Is that
of.
Star Force?
Yes. Yeah.
And aren't they all baddies?
Well,
Baddies and goodies.
in the comics, yes, but I think what's going to happen, because Ronan the Accuser is part of it, and the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy who's at the beginning, who is the guy who was in Gladiator.
The robot one.
Yeah. So both of those are known to us as bad guys.
Korath.
Yes,
The
Korath. Thank you.
Accuser?
Yeah, they're known to us as bad guys at the minute, but in this, she's going to be working with them. So I think that they will be her villains because she'll split off from them.
Right, okay.
That's what I think will happen. I think she'll side with Earth over Kree.
All right.
And so that's why I think that. Now, Jude Law is the question mark for me.
Yes.
What part is he playing?
Oh, he's Marvel, isn't he?
Well,
I don't think he is. It's never been confirmed.
I think
I mean,
he is.
it's on IMDb that under this movie that he is Marvel. However, IMDb is never 100% right at all times.
Do we need to tell our listeners the difference between Marvel and Marvel or not? Should we
Yes.
just leave it there?
Okay, yeah.
Is it
fine.
important? Because
Yeah,
I'm not going
Nate's-
to do it
Nate's
because
about to
I
spill
can't really
that.
remember.
So Marvel is the original Captain Marvel in the comics. His name is Marvel with a hyphen in the middle because he's a Kree, and that's the way the names are.
Yeah.
Also, they wanted a name that sounded like Marvel. So,
Shock.
yeah.
But yours would be J-Mez.
J-Mez.
Ben, thank you for clarifying that
that's
up.
okay.
Yeah. So
Mine would be Ben-J-Mez. jam in.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay.
Good. Sorry, go ahead.
Please.
Okay. And so he in the comics, Marvel was the original Captain Marvel, and he had all the powers.
Yeah.
And then crazy comic book logic allowed Carol, who was with Marvel for various periods.
Are they a couple?
No, yes, maybe.
Okay.
Definitely not, but probably yes.
Yeah, you know the Ross and Rachel, will they, won't they? I think it was like that. I think it was early.
Friends benefits?
Not in the 50s comics, no.
No, okay.
It was
Just checking.
50s, it was 60s.
Was
come
it?
on, 70s, yeah.
Sure.
Doesn't matter.
But she gets powers by being
From him.
around him, and so then she takes on the power later on. He dies of cancer in the comic
Didn't
books.
someone who you suspect
Really
he is turn on something that in that comics explain video the night said was a magnetron?
Yeah.
And it gave his DNA merged with
Hers.
her DNA, and she became as powerful as him,
Yeah.
or slightly more so.
Does she not age anymore now then? Is she invincible?
Yes.
Good question.
Is she invincible, or as my friend would always say, invisible? Couldn't get those two codes together. Love you,
I think we're
JWP.
jumping all over the shop.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
think-
She is, for all intents and purposes, the Superman of this universe.
Yes.
However, she also can fire blasts out of her hands. I suppose you could say those are the same as laser eyes that Superman has.
Yes.
She's just all powerful.
So she's nails.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And does she have any weaknesses? Do we know?
Not like kryptonite.
No.
I'm pretty sure as well that she can, like Black Panther's suit can absorb hits and then fire it back out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the harder you hit her, the more powerful she becomes and her attacks become. I'm pretty sure that's something I've read in the comics.
Okay.
I might be wrong with that.
I think that was really good background. I like that.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate.
Not firing all cylinders. There's a very interesting bit at 1 minute 36 in the trailer where she's wearing a suit that has the mohawk, which is a famous look, a modern look from Captain Marvel. She has a mohawk. I think that's just literally going to be a hat that allows hair through. I don't think she's actually going to have a mohawk.
No, I think you're probably right.
And she's sort of flying through space. It will be a training montage.
Do you think she's on the run?
Yes,
I don't know if she is
do.
flying through space there. I think she might be underwater.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Or she might be flying through space and I don't care.
Okay.
No. But what I'm trying to say is, I was already excited for this film. I really want to see this film now. This trailer didn't make me want to see it anymore, but the next trailer will. That's what I think. That's what I think of this trailer. It was fine.
I think it was
know
good.
more is coming.
Out of 5, what would you give it?
This trailer?
Yeah.
3.
I'd give it a 3 as well.
Oh, I'm going to give it a 3.5.
But the thing is...
3.5?
Yeah, 3.5 keys, isn't it?
Oh, I think.
The thing is, it's difficult because I think it's a very okay trailer for what probably is going to be an incredibly entertaining movie. We know it will be. It's a Marvel movie. They're always incredibly entertaining. And they're putting a lot of stock in this female lead character.
Which I think is great, but are we all wanting to fast forward to the last half an hour to see how it all links into the next Avengers film? Is that what people are waiting for?
No, I genuinely not.
And I that was me not making a statement.
it's
It was
fine.
asking a question.
So I think the same thing happened when the first Ant-Man came out for me. There had been so many huge, big, world-changing movies, and everything. All the Batman movies are always the world is going to end. So when it really, Batman's best stories are when he's fighting crime on the street level. And I think with the Marvel movies, I felt like everything was so huge. And then Ant-Man came along, and no pun intended, it was nice to have a small movie. Sure. Where the threat was just kind of contained to that area, that small space. Mm-hmm. And so I really enjoyed that. And I'm looking forward to that from Captain Marvel. Avengers Infinity War was the biggest movie anyone had ever seen. It's bigger in scale and time and effects and characters and story and blah, blah, blah than anything ever. I need to take a break in Marvel films. I need a breather.
I mean, I think that's what we're talking about in Ben was mentioning in Star Wars.
Yes,
there's
absolutely.
only so much you can not force down your throat, but so much you want to take in and you want to.
But that's what Marvel do differently. They do. Okay, yes, another Marvel film, but it's a different character, and there might be a little bit of that.
Yeah,
other
but
person
it's still a superhero. It's still that same formula. So we've got Captain Marvel coming out next year, and Avengers 4. Yeah,
Yep.
that's coming out as well.
Yeah.
When's the Spider-Man film coming out?
Later next year.
July.
So we're actually having 3
Marvel
films.
Yeah.
And the biggest one that everyone's going to be talking about is the Avengers.
Yeah.
Well,
Bottom line, I'm putting it right out there.
I reckon we won't see any Avengers trailers or promotional stuff until Marvel's come out. Captain Marvel come out. I think they'll hold it back.
Well, they'd have to.
We might get posters, and we might get some like.
I think it might be the day after or something like this because as soon as you see the end of that film, it's going to link into the next.
That's what
Avengers.
I mean. Yeah.
Maybe they'll put an Avengers trailer at the end of Captain Marvel.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely, they will.
Yeah. I've just got a bit. Chilled.
What's the gap between it? When is
like a month? Like this movie comes out in March, and Avengers 4 comes out at the end of April.
Yeah.
I think Captain Marvel is going to be equal to, on a par with, or slightly better than Captain America: Winter Soldier. It's a big statement from me.
It is a big statement. It's the best. It's the best Marvel movie.
If you think about the characters that are going to be in it, Nick Fury, Coulson, Skrulls, Kree,
it's very
the Accuser,
okay, so it's
Captain Marvel herself.
It's very it's spy, espionage, intrigue because the Skrulls are shape-shifting and they're taking over the humans. They've got to pack a lot of story in there because there's this Kree-Skrull war
that's happening, and that's why Earth are not involved in that. They're having a battle that actually comes onto our land, so to speak.
I bet the Kree-Skrull war is the flashbacks. That's her training. I bet the present day in the movie
is
Secret Invasion, and she remembers being part of the Kree Star Force.
And do we think that when the Kree take the form of somebody, so let's just say Skrull, take the form of, let's say, Captain America.
Yeah.
Where is Captain America?
Good question.
Kidnapped.
Normally kidnapped.
Held in high security somewhere else.
Yeah, on the Skrull homeworld.
When Thanos is...
Yeah.
And people start disappearing...
Yeah. Who's actually disappearing?
Yeah. Because if it's... I'm just...
Speculation.
I can't talk right now.
I can't even answer that question, James.
Because I think that's what it's going to be like.
Yeah. Well, they obviously have this planned out. Obviously.
I've heard an awful lot after this trailer that people should go and check out the Kelly Sue DeConnick run on Captain Marvel.
Yep, it's great.
I haven't read it. I've seen images from it, and it looks good. Like the iconic front covers, and the mohawk with the hat and all that sort of thing, and the sash. Just looks like what we're getting from this film. So yeah, I might check that out.
Also, if you're interested in more in-depth ramblings about this, that not like our useless ramblings, check out Mr. Sunday Movies, Things Missed, and also Comics Explained. The guy from Comics Explained is incredible. Rob,
he just stood there and did like a 15-minute video, holding his iPhone and like a selfie in his kitchen in his front room, and absolutely blew my mind.
He smashed it out of the park.
He knows so much,
and it came back and he smashed it again.
Yeah, he's great. So check those out. I think that's probably enough.
Yeah, I
think I've said everything I want to say about it.
Talking about it it's made me a little bit more excited about it.
Agreed. Agreed. I 100% agree. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm looking forward to the next trailer.
Oh, the one thing we didn't mention was that in the poster there's a cat.
Oh, there is a cat, but it might not be a cat. But it might have the characteristics of a cat. It's not a cat.
It's not a cat.
It's a space cat.
It's a space cat that it has portals to dimensions inside its mouth.
Go and watch the Mr. Sunday Movies video about this Captain Marvel trailer, 10 Things Missed, or whatever it is.
So, Ben, this is the point where I normally ask you where people can find us.
They can find us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Search for Nerdschatting. You can send us an email, which is nerdschatting@outlook.com. Visit our blog website, which is nerdschatting.com. You can check us out on Podbean, nerdschatting.podbean.com. We're on iTunes. We're on the other one. What's it called? Spotify. I don't know why. What's wrong with me? And yeah, if you talk to us on social media, you'll be talking to me. If you send us an email, you'll be talking to Nate, and he'll be grumpy.
Always.
And you never talk to me.
No.
And we may or may not be posting a video of you playing a ukulele, James.
On that.
Oh, God, I really don't feel well.
I tell you what. It's all over my face.
On that bombshell. Should we sign off?
Signing out.
See you next week, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye.